This brother was sitting in a sunbathing boat when he suddenly hit the wall. The fierce shaking made him startled. When he calmed down, he looked up and was amazed at the deep blue sky and pristine white clouds. He could not believe his eyes. In front of him turned out to be just a colorful wall painted. He was angry and smashed into the wall, as if he wanted a bit of wet and wet to contain for years. It turned out that he lived his whole life in a lying world. That world is just a huge studio erected. The sun is not true, but a giant headlight. And the moon is just their control center. The people behind silently forgiving everything on this set. He was born right here. Every angle is mounted with micro cameras. Every step, each of his actions was recorded every minute. Up to 1.7 billion people around the world have watched his life. But this place is not only the sky is fake, the moon is also fake. Even humans are not real. His parents and wife are all actors. The people on the street are just a mass actor. Even close dogs are hired from the outside. Only he was completely deceived. For others, this is just a role. But for this man named Truman, this is the real world. He lived in this lie for 30 years. Because of that authenticity, this program used to top the audience rankings. People just need to have free time to watch this reality TV show attentively. But the truth is always exposed. That morning, Truman offered a neighbor, as usual. And their whole family always happily responded to his greeting. By the way, in the afternoon and the evening is peaceful. These greetings he didn't remember how many times he had repeated. But when he was about to start the car, there was suddenly an object from the sky. He was startled and carefully came to consider. The fall is a headlight. Behind also records Sirius brand. Truman does not understand what this means. Should decide to ignore and continue to drive to work. But on the road, there was a news that was broadcast. A plane, when flying through the town, had a problem that caused some of its parts to fall. Obviously, this is a way to alleviate his concern so he doesn't think more. After that, he stopped to buy a model like usual. After that, I also met two twin brothers who never bought insurance. When he arrived at the company, he took advantage of his colleague to not pay attention to tearing a model photo in the magazine. And this photo will play an important role later. At that moment, his boss came. He gave him a new job. That is to the seaport island to meet customers. That place was very far away, making him not want to accept. But the boss said frankly that if this month he did not meet the criteria, he was prepared to be fired. There was no other way. He had to accept the invitation. But when he was about to board the train, he accidentally saw an old shipwreck. Immediately, the memory from breathing baby rushed back. At that time, he was very young and once climbing a boat with his father. In the middle of the trip, they suddenly encountered a big storm that made his father slip into the sea. Although he tried his best to save him, he could not save it in the end. Can only be helpless to see his father sink into the vast ocean. Since then, he has always had an obsession with the sea and boats. In fact, this assignment is directed by the director, intentionally arranging. Because recently, he has always cherished travel plans around the world. If you reach the edge of the studio and discover the secret of In This World, the program certainly cannot continue. That's why they put a shipwreck there, for him to recall the sorrowful memory. Since then, evoke fear and made him walk. As expected, he fell into the trap and returned. That day, while gardening, the wife suddenly ran and took an item to advertise. Perfect kitchen assistant. This device helps to chop, cells, tie, all in just one step. He felt extremely confusing. Actually, she is doing an ad. Because the program is so famous, advertising is a stitching. I came to him to tell my best friend that I wanted to give up my job to travel around the world. The opponent did not object nor agree. He just advised him to think carefully. This job is not easy to get. If you give up now, what will you come out later? After that, he sat alone on the beach thinking. Suddenly, a heavy rain went down. The strange thing is that the rain only falls on him. The rain even chased him everywhere. Where did you go there? In essence, this is the arrangement of the program crew, because they don't want him to cross the ocean to go further. When he proposed this idea to his wife, she objected fiercely. that felt that he doubted. It seems that the whole world is trying to stop him out. I don't understand why. To quell your intentions, the old wife has always opposed the story of having children suddenly proactively propose to give birth. But that proposal only made him even more suspicious. After that, a strange event happened, making him more determined to discover the truth. The next morning, on the way to work, he suddenly met his father again, who died many years ago. But when they met, a strange couple appeared and pulled his father away. He tried to chase but was blocked by a crowd. He didn't understand why the deceased father suddenly appeared. "Stop, stop, stop." He quickly told the story to his mother. But she said that he just missed his father, so he mistook a passerby. She also fell into the same situation, although they are like his father, but certainly not him. His father was forever in the deep sea. Hearing that, he could not help but hurt. Unexpectedly, even Mother did not believe him. But the next incident brought him closer than ever. While driving to work, suddenly radio waves became disturbed. Shortly thereafter, he caught an unprecedented channel. He is on Stewart Street. The actor is ready. He will come in 90 seconds. Hot coffee actor immediately. He was easy to go to Lancaster Square. The enemy. He almost stabbed the pedestrians. Something is not good. Quickly change the channel. This incident is essentially due to the device that is tightened. But it was this problem that helped him gradually realize the truth about his world. He decided to perform a test. When he got off the car, he did not go to buy a magazine as usual, causing the seller Nien. After that, he went to the office and went around and left. He wants to see what will happen if he does not follow the old path. The people around them will react. When he focused on observing the surrounding world, he realized that everyone seemed to have a scenario for himself. For example, twins always refused to buy insurance. Today, suddenly offered to buy a contract worth $10 million. This order has a bold idea. If you act suddenly, how will they react? So he immediately rushed into another company that made the receptionist panic. Obviously, they could not react. They quickly alerted and asked the departments to prepare. He decided to go upstairs to check. But when the elevator door opened, he saw the backstage and the staff of the program. The opponent saw him howling, quickly closed the wall. Before he could understand what happened, guard chased him out. The way they treated him was extremely angry. He annoyed and patted a repairer's butt and ran away. I thought they would chase me, but run forever without seeing anyone chasing. Finally, he went to his best friend's store, Malone, and recounted all the things that had just been discovered. Behind the elevator is the space. I looked closely and found someone there. On the way to work, I heard the radio, but the radio is as monitoring each of my actions. Do you understand? You are imagining. I saw my father. Your father? Perhaps he is still alive. To continue later, I was being monitored. Obviously, Malone is not very interested in previous things, but the fact that Chu's father suddenly appeared surprised him. Because in the past, there were also actors who were fired back to take advantage of Chu Meng's popularity. But it is not clear what Zhou's father returned to do. He wants to enlist the popularity or want to reveal the truth. If it was later, it would be scary. Malone only has a way to explain everything and let the rest depend on fate. When he got home, Chu was happy to think about what happened during the day. He felt that things were not simple. At this moment, an unfortunate memory rushed back to his mind. In a college, he secretly loved a girl named Lauren, a mass actor, and seemed to have feelings for him. But as soon as the affection was budding, the director arranged for his wife to appear in his life. Although they can arrange the script, even destiny, they cannot control their hearts in love. Lauren and Zhou Cheng happened to meet again at a party. The appearance of Lauren made the crew unexpectedly. To avoid the script as disturbed, they called the staff, forced Lauren to leave. When Chu was happy to think that fate had ended, they met at the library again. It seems that there is any arrangement, it is not possible to stop fate. But Lauren was worried again. She kept looking around like that had a camera. She whispered, "They didn't let me talk to him." Hearing that, Zhou was happy to think that they were her family. Anyway, the fact that a girl with strangers is also dangerous.
However, Jo Chung still could not help but invite Lauren to appoint them. Unexpectedly, she agreed, but she also made a strange request, which was to go now. Chu Meng wondered, but still could not resist the appeal of his first love. However, right after they left, there were people informing the program crew. Lauren quickly led Chu Chu to the beach. There, they bravely confessed their feelings for each other and gave each other the first kiss. At that moment, Lauren's family appeared. Hearing these say, "Everyone knows you. Everyone knows everything about him. They are all acting. Do you understand? Everyone is acting. Lauren? No, I'm not Lauren. My name is Sylvia. Sylvia, really? Lauren, I have started again. Wait, who are you? Her father. I never met him. We did nothing wrong. He lied. Don't believe him. I tell the truth. All this is made to watch you." And so, Lauren was taken away by the fake father. Before leaving, she told Chu to find a way to escape and then come to Fiji to find her. But basically, this place is nowhere named Fiji. Since then, coming to Fiji has become his whole life. That is why he always wants to travel around the world. Since Lauren left, Chu Meng started collecting model posters. Only hope to be able to assemble it unforgettable. Lauren sitting in front of the TV screen has never forgotten Chu. The two of them have a strange tone of the soul. And his current wife made him feel like he was acting in a dramatic wife. Absolutely no real affection. She also often covers the ads. We should remove this lawnmower. Instead, buy
Moose brand mower now. An important finding that day made Chwell believe that Lauren was right. When he reviewed the wedding photo, he accidentally realized his wife's 2 fingers knitting together. This is a gesture of meaning for forgiveness from God. That proves that this marriage is not true. Plus, a series of abnormal actions of her, Chwell Meng believed that his wife was hiding something. That day, she said she had to go to the hospital for surgery. As soon as she left, Jo Chung immediately sneaked up from the backyard. But when he arrived at the hospital, he was blocked. It is clear that the program crew did not anticipate this unexpected appearance. A nurse walked over and said his wife was operating, not convenient to receive guests. "Okay, then transfer words for me. Okay, tell her that I will go to Fiji. When I arrived, I would call her." To Fiji? Exactly. After that, Chwell pretended to leave. When he saw a person rushing to report, he silently followed. But when he was about to catch up, a trucking staff suddenly blocked his way. Too angry, Chwell was happy to throw the car to one side. Unexpectedly, he saw his wife really surgery. "I will teach a preliminary line on the right knee to conduct removal." Upon hearing, the patient lying in bed suddenly jerked people for fear. Obviously, it was all just a performance. They are absolutely not a real doctor. But before Jo Chung promptly clarified the truth, he was violently protected. Leaving the hospital, he went straight to the airport to buy tickets to Fiji. But the airport staff said that the ticket was sold out and had to wait for another month. There was no way. He had to choose to go by bus. But unfortunately, the bus was broken in the middle of the road. "Dear guests, our car has a problem." Passengers immediately got off the car, not responding. Just like that, they deliberately led Chwell to leave the car. When he got home, Chwell was happy to tell his wife to sit in the car and say he had a secret to share. In a while, a woman riding a bicycle and a man holding flowers will go through in front of her. After that, there will be a Volkswagen dented fenders passing by. Right later, a bicycle woman appeared with a man holding a flower. And then the Volkswagen also appeared. Let me explain why you can guess. Very simple, they are just running around. They walked through this street, then returned, repeated. They go on the circle. His wife responded, "He said so much, just let me agree to me to go to Fiji, right? Okay, I agree." But as soon as she was about to get off, Chwell Happy suddenly locked the car door. He smiled sinister and said, "No need to wait, go now. I want to see how they will react to this unpredictable action." Chwell Meng started driving around the yard, running bones, and moved towards the destination. But immediately, a long row of cars appeared to stop his way. The situation quickly became serious traffic jams. But that could not stop him. If this line is not connected, he will choose another line, changing towards another soul. And strange, this road is completely airy. There is no car that blocks the road. Soon they went to the big bridge.
Chuel's wife was happy to smile here. She knew that Chuel Meng had an obsession with water and he would not dare to cross this bridge. But unexpectedly, Chuel celebrated her hand to put up the steering wheel, and he closed his eyes and kicked the chicken feet. Chuel Happy knows that because of the safety of his wife himself, he will focus on keeping the steering wheel firmly. And as expected, they passed the bridge safely. But all this waves to another waves. The forest in front suddenly burned violently. Chuel Chang did not ceiling unless the car was over. He thought that everything would then be smooth, but then the sound of the air defense siren rang ahead, was blocked by the nuclear aunt. There is a nuclear aunt in the front? Is there a different path? All the ways have been blocked. Do you need help? No need, thank you, nothing. Chuel Happy. Hearing his name, Chuel was shocked. How did a stranger have never met his name? Surely they are hiding something. Chuel Chang decided not to give up the car and ran towards the warning fence. But immediately, he was fiercely blocked by the staff there. There was no other way. Chuel Chang had to run quickly into the forest. But in the end, he was still captured. However, that accidentally helped Chuel discover the closed camera. Shortly thereafter, he was taken home. Zhou Sheng asked his wife why she suddenly wanted to have children, while she always protested. But she ignored the question again. Instead, she suddenly picked up a box of cocoa and started advertising. Pure cocoa from Nicaragua, no artificial flavor. What are you saying? Who are you talking to? Her strange professional attitude made Chuel happy. In anger, he began to question whether his wife was part of their conspiracy to deceive him. Feeling the danger, the wife immediately held a knife to defend. You scare you? I'm the one who scared you. What are you going to do? Cut you or peel you? I have a lot of choices. You guys hope to think about it. What? What are you saying? Who are you talking to? I did not talk to anyone. I did not say anything. I just said you hope to think. I didn't talk to anyone. Don't do that. Chuel Happy, cheerful. At that moment, Malone suddenly entered and saved his wife. That night, Chuel was happy to meet Malone to talk. He said
the whole world seemed to revolve around him. From he sold newspapers to bus driver, everyone is like playing a fixed role. They were like participating in a big play, and he was the only main character in that play. Hearing that, Malone's static answer, "We have been filming at the age of 7, until now 23 years. No matter how the world changes, I will never deceive you." At that time, the program team was watching everything through the screen. After that, the director started to guide Malone to continue. "I will never lie to you. I will never lie to you." Perhaps long-term friendship made this Malone sincerely with Chumeng, made him unable to continue to deceive. But anyway, he is still a professional actor. In front of millions of viewers, he was forced to complete the role. Shortly thereafter, the director decided to bring Chun's father again because they wanted to add a touching scene. Reduce dry smoke. Are the cameras ready? The camera is high. The camera is close. I have never given up hope. Place the wide angle and then take the scene on the side of the road. Father's son, taking the corner of the face? Don't not. This is enough. Add music in. Now take the corner. Father has been away from me for many years, but the father will make up for you. Father, we will again top the rankings. The scene made the audience in front of the screen unable to hold back tears. After completing this scene, the fake father finally ended the role. The colleagues praised his excellent performance. Only Lauren, who was watching from the screen, cannot be happy. For the audience, this is just a television program. But with Truman, this is his real life. Later, Lauren called the director, denouncing that he should not arbitrarily freely travel the fate of others. Turning a human into a television, you are guilty. Facing the accusations, the director calmly answered, "I only created a peaceful paradise for Truman. There, he did not need to go through the melting of the real world. There, everyone has their own scenario. No need to fight for each other like the world in addition to reality. They bring him a world filled with hope and happiness, but no one has ever asked him whether this fake world is what Truman wants. Because right from the time he moved life, this program has begun. Simeon, what? Is he looking at us? Did he realize it? Hello, quickly notify Christoph." Major Burbank replied immediately. He acted as usual. After that, Truman left the house and greeted the neighbors as usual. Everything seemed to return to normal. But they did not know that Truman was planning a great escape. Since the argument with his wife, the director has arranged for her to leave the show.
Then introduce again Truman another woman, wanting him to start a new marriage life. But on that day, the team discovered that Truman had slept in the basement for several days. At first, they thought he was sad because his wife left, but the director quickly realized something unusual. Zooming in the screen immediately, he was still breathing. The sound of breathing is clearly fake. Shortly thereafter, they rewound it before he went to bed, and suddenly, a hand appeared under the table. Zooming in the image, that is Truman. They immediately called Malone. But when he stepped in, pulled the blanket to see, only a doll lying there sleeping in the old car, no longer see Truman anywhere. Although extremely unexpected, but this is a live broadcast. Malone cannot reveal loopholes. He just pretended to be playing hide and seek. Truman then started looking for him, but he couldn't find it forever. When Malone opened the warehouse door, a large hole appeared before everyone's eyes. The director was surprised and told Malone to climb up. Do not look at the camera, just talk as usual. He is not here. Stop broadcasting. Stop broadcast immediately. Cut the wave. A kip quickly cut the program. If the audience knew Truman had disappeared, the consequences will be very serious. They immediately practiced all the actors, even using the moon to search, but it is at night, so I don't see it clearly. There was no other way. The director was forced to turn the day to daytime. When the headlights light up, the day immediately appeared. But even though looking around the town did not miss a corner, I still did not see the silhouette of Truman. At this time, the director suddenly thought of the ocean. As expected, when the camera moved to the sea, they discovered Truman was driving a boom in the middle of the ocean. Found him. Continue to broadcast. The audience realized that Truman wanted to escape, so he cheered at him. Truman took out Lauren's photo and looked. This is his only encouragement now. Lauren, when he saw that scene on the TV, also burst into tears. The director knows this cannot continue. He immediately ordered the boat driver to chase. But the driver is the actor who plays the driver. How to know how to drive the boat? Looking at Truman increasingly closer to the list of studio, the religion ordered the movement of weather to the big storm, so that he had to give up. In just a moment, the storm came. The huge waves patted the small boat, causing Truman to knock back and forth. Even so, he still refused to give up. Add, in addition, do more strongly. Faced with all obstacles, Truman resiliently climbed back to the boat. The audience on the television also applauded Vuan. Fighting, Truman. Maintain the steering wheel. Only that? Add it. If you have to kill me, you can stop me. The director realized that the storm did not make it difficult, Truman. He immediately ordered to strengthen the storm to the maximum.
Ekip's staff tried to stop. Do not do that, he will lose. But the director, because the views should continue. Shortly thereafter, a giant wave struck, firn over the boat. Under the power of intense waves, Truman finally and the boat were still knocked into the sea. Luckily, he tied the string before, so he did not sink. The director finally had to order a storm for fear he would be real. When the sunlight tore the clouds, the sky is pure again. The boat also stabilized again. The audience in front of the screen could not be touched. Truman tried to lift up again and continued the journey to cross the ocean cloud. Not knowing how long it had been, the small boat suddenly hit a wall. Only then did he realize what Lauren said was true. The sky, white clouds, are actually just a huge curtain. As it turned out, his whole life lived in a fake world. Truman, let's speak out. I can hear you. Who are you? I am a television producer who brought hope and joy to millions. And who am I? You are the main character. Everything is fake. Only you are real. That is why this program is so attractive. Listen to me. Congratulations. The world outside is not as honest as the world I created. It is easy to lie. But in my world, you won't have to be afraid. Stay here with me. Before leaving, I wanted to wish you good afternoon, good evening, and good night.